welcome to our December Shire Council meeting, Warren Shire Council. The Warren Shire Council acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands within the Warren Shire and acknowledges the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who reside amongst us. Mr. General Manager, could I call for apologies at leave of absence, please?
I've received apologies from Councillor Brewer and Councillor Houston.
Could I have Councillor Derrick, Councillor Kinsey? Thank you. I presume we all consent to that. The confirmation of the minutes which were in the business paper held on Thursday, the 24th of October. Can I have a motion for that? Councillor Wass, Councillor Derrick, and any comments or matters arising out of those minutes, councillors? So in that case, can I presume we accept the accuracy of the minutes? And I'll put that. Thank you unanimously. Disclosure of interest. Have we had any pecuniary or non-pecuniary disclosure of interest?
No received.
No received. There's no mayoral minute. So we'll continue on. What we're going to do in some of these reports, guys, when they're the same or they're two, I'll be calling it the reports in Globo or together. So we're first going to the meeting of our Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee, which Councillor Derrick is on that. So Councillor Derrick. And a seconder, Councillor McKay, Councillor Derrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So there's two meetings here together. So the first of which being September and the second being November. So I guess a lot of what we have spent time on to date is refining the details of how the committee should be run, formats to be used, adjusting the checklists. A lot of administrative kind of discussion. I think the business papers would have been sent out for all councillors. Yep. So I won't go through all of the recommendations individually, but just one that I will speak to is from the first meeting, and that business paper was 206 pages long. So you might not have called every detail of that, but just specifically the recommendation is that the matters raised in the chairperson's report in relation to the Auditor General's comments at the Office of Local Government and County Council's ARIC conference be brought to the specific attention of councillors as part of the next report. So I do have that chairperson's report here if anyone would like to read it in full, but I think the main parts to draw to your attention, there are some comments about the issue of rural fire service assets that were covered by the Auditor General. Two main points being that the Auditor General now have new data from RFS, which they intend to use to resolve the audit issues and clear qualifications. And the Auditor General will be collaborating with councils for efficient resolution on fitness and accuracy. So that sounds helpful. The other part of the chairperson's report that I will speak to is just the 5 focus areas for upcoming council audits from the Auditor General. So first is long-term financial planning and sustainable financial management. Second, managing climate risks through assets and services. Third, performance management and monitoring council's code of conduct. 4, waste management. And 5, governance issues, in particular councils. So there is some more commentary from the chairperson in this report. Feel free to have a look. But I just thought I should speak to that a little bit more in light of the recommendation that we have in the business paper. Not sure if the General Manager or Manager of Finance Administration would like to make any comments, but there is a fair bit involved in this committee, and there are quite a number of recommendations, most of which I think are probably relatively self-explanatory, but happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I apologise for that. Any comments, questions from Councillor Derrick to Councillor Derrick? So I presume we all accept that report. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The next item is the meeting of the Australia Day Committee. And I have Councillor Jackson, second Councillor Clearsby, Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor Whiteley. We did meet to talk about this the approaching Australia Day awards. At the time of the meeting, we were quite low on nominations across all categories, despite there being been promoted since February. At the meeting, we could talk about strategies on how we could potentially attract more nominations in the short term. And we also did talk about how we plan to perhaps review some of the aspects of how nominations are garnered and some of the criteria to make things easier for members of the public to nominate and understand the criteria itself. If anybody has any questions or anything they'd like to comment on the minutes, please do so.
How's our nominations for a current event still slow?
I would have to defer to the General Manager or Manager of Divisional Finance, as I haven't been updated on that.
So that I think it's my inquiries last week. Yeah, so the forms are available here. If you've got anyone, councillors, that you think deserves an honour, if you catch up with Jody or see me, I've got the forms as well. So that date of that closing, Councillor Jackson, is the 15th.
The 15th.
15th.
Thursday, the 12th.
Thursday the 12th. Sorry.
We have a meeting on the 16th to go through the.
Right. Sorry. So Thursday the 12th, guys. So we've got a week. Just there's quite a lot of people in this in our community that deserve honour. Just put your mind to it, please. So the resolution to accept that report, I'll put that now. Everybody over. The next is the meeting of the traffic committee looking for sporting facilities. Looking for a mover and a seconder to the sporting facilities. Councillor McKay, Councillor Clearsby, Councillor McKay. Any comment about the minutes of the sporting facilities meeting? Councillor McCloskey's got a grin.
Through the chair, I'd just like to thank my fellow councillors for in the paper there support with me even a chairmanship in my absence. That's all.
Yeah, well, you'll have to get your travel movements more in line with your responsibilities. No, thank you very much, Councillor McCloskey, for accepting that honour, even if you weren't there. Yeah. Sporting facilities, no other comments. I'll put that. All in favour? Aye. Thank you very much. Sorry, I jumped one there now, the traffic committee. Mover of the traffic committee, councillor Kelly, seconder, please. Councillor McCloskey, councillor Kelly.
Yeah, we had a meeting of the traffic committee on Thursday, the 7th of November, attended by our staff, including Jason Nicholson from Transport New South Wales. You read through the items to items 5.1 and so forth. We moved on some safety issues with the drop-off zones at St Mary's School and the Warren Central. And a second issue was quite interesting was the proposed changes to the bottom end of Bundamar Street near Tyre Right, because they have problems with AB triples and so forth accessing the tyre yard to get work done. So Sylvester had designs drawn up and so forth, and seemed quite acceptable to be able to get trucks in and out of the premises safely. And on the third issue was something that was brought up the last meeting, was regard to truck parking out at Nevertire on Trangie Street. There's some people living in the old Goach's garage there that have noise issues with trucks parking overnight. And we moved basically to install signage preventing trucks actually parking in the area from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. in the morning. These are all subject to police concurrence as well. So I'd say when we get the boxes ticked by then, we can move on what was brought forward. And the last issue was the street party, the sign off for that. It was surprising how much was involved in organising and signing up on just a simple, what seems to be a simple street party, but a bit of an eye opener for all. That concludes it.
Thanks, councillor Kelly. Yeah, we can't get away from bureaucracy, unfortunately. Has anyone else got any comments on that, on those items? Everybody's clear what we're doing and what we're proposed to do in Bundamar Street, which will, it's been an issue for a long time, even without AB triples, just a normal semi-trailers, hard enough to get in and out of there. If no comments, I'll put that all in favour. Thank you. Our next item is the UMR Waste Disposal Committee meeting held on Monday the 11th. I'm looking for a mover for that. Councillor Cleasby, Councillor Surdity, Councillor Cleasby.
At the meeting, there was some discussion just on future works, tip shop, some discussions regarding it about Nestway. I still believe the structure we've got for the delivery of general waste won't run efficiently as it is. I know it's there. I think there's just a few changes. We've actually got an 18 to 20 metre structure with a 2.5 metre opening with a garbage bin drop, and with a truck, I just don't think it's an efficient way. Maybe and the only way I can think of fixing the problem is to widen the delivery. I think with the amount of people that will come on Sundays, it'll just be a traffic jam at the initial thing. Just a point of discussion. I don't suggest any major works out there other than maybe providing a gap to allow more than one vehicle at a time. I just don't think we'll get any more than one vehicle at a time. We'll have a lineup. So pretty much that's the meeting.
There'll be growth places, and I personally think that there'll be a bit of a learning space in that, especially with some of the commercial operators and how we're going to do that. So I'd just encourage the committee just to work on how we can improve it in the long run. It is obviously it's an understatement to say that it is something that we operate that's under scrutiny all the time by our community. So we've been forced is probably the wrong word, strongly encouraged to do it that way because of safety and other issues, but we can learn how to do it. Councillor McCloskey?
Through the chair, please. Just in light of what Councillor Cleese said in the operation, given it's only been in play for a short period of time, have we had any comment, be it positive or adverse, since its operation?
I'm aware of one positive comment that during 60 millimetres of rain, the tip wasn't closed. The idea is that as the truck gets bigger, the gap gets wider too. That was always the case that we're having a practice first, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, no, Councillor, I went out the other day and I was I was third in line. I had to wait.
Yeah.
So there might be some merit in what Councillor Cleese said in terms of providing another access point so you can move people around a bit quicker.
Yeah, I think personally, I think, everything new, there'll be a growth phase, there'll be working out of it, but I did have the pleasure of going to Northern Beaches tip the other day and was waiting in line back. So we need to manage this, guys, and whilst as I said, whilst it's an operation that we do that's in the face of the public all the time. I commend the committee, just keep working, and our director just to get this the best way we can over time.
Mayor, the chair and the manager have some ideas they're putting together.
Thank you. So any other comments on that, guys? So I'll put that report. All those in favour? I thank you very much. The next one is the meeting of the Public Arts Committee on the 11th of November also. Councillor Jackson seconded, Councillor Surdity. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor Whiteley. The main update out of this is that the artwork for the female amenity block, we've received designs. Committee have given feedback on the designs. They're essentially, I guess, they're totems for local people. There's the emu, there's the eagle. It's a local artist, Peter Mackey, is designing it. He's going to be helped by Shamika Kenwell, who is a emerging Aboriginal artist. They're going to be well protected. They're not going to be panels such as some of the other artworks are. They're actually going to be painted onto the building itself. With a is that through you, Miss Booth? Is that right, Gary? It's
The doors.
The doors, yep. So they get taken off and he will paint those doors at his studio, and then they'll be installed, and there'll be a non-sacrificial system that Raymond did explain how it worked. It was a bit technical, but gave us all the confidence that it wouldn't be
Destroyed.
Yeah. So I guess those were the main things. One other thing we did talk about was just some future projects. And one interesting concept that came up was the creation of a Warren character, like where's Warren? Some sort of symbol icon that represents Warren that could be put around town. So yeah, pretty much all self-explanatory in the minutes. If anybody has any questions regarding the minutes.
Any inquiries, questions, and comments to Councillor Kelly?
Just one, Councillor Jack, with regard to Peter's artwork, is there a costing involved for us, or is it
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, yeah, there's a grant for the works and part of that is paying the artist.
Yeah.
There was a tender process. Sorry,
Expression of interest.
there was expressions of interest. He was, I think, the only respondent. However, having said that, we were prepared to accept poor quality. His work, it looks to be of a standard that it will look good in situ. And yes, he will be paid for his work.
Project's paying for it, Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor.
I guess.
Comments, questions? Thank you, councillor. I'm going to put that motion all in favour. I thank you. The report, apologies. The next one is on the 12th of November. We had local emergency management committee meeting. Just looking for councillor. Thank you, councillor Derrett. Seconder, councillor Kinsey. I haven't mentioned your name, so you're in. Councillor Derrett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have any questions. Happy to move recommendation. Thank you.
General Manager, you got any comments on that, please?
Director,
Director.
Mr. Mayor, it was a very straightforward meeting, so nothing stood out.
That's all good. You know, emergency management meetings with nothing there. That's yeah, good. So I'm going to put that report. Anyone against? For against? Thank you very much. The next one is a meeting of the Showground Racecourse Committee held on the 12th of November. Councillor Cleesby, Councillor Derrett, Councillor Cleesby.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. As usual, this committee's usually pretty robust, sort of with a large group of people, all of different persuasions. It is actually a great committee to be on. We had a proposal at the meeting from a small group of people who would like to hold the national polo cross. They did put a proposal through, which was a chinchilla proposal. Money that was made from chinchilla. Unfortunately, the group was starting from scratch. There's $0. Small group of people. Asking for a large cost, like a large amount of money to put this on. They've been told to virtually go away and work on their proposal and come up with a business plan for the first part of it. I think it'd be great for the community to have such an event like this. It's a huge cost, and I do believe they come to the meeting just to get the total amount of money for their project. So other than that, we all other end users are putting up their wish lists for February meetings. And there was a pretty much discussion on cost of running any event down there, which always seems to come up. Everything's always too dear, from power to at one stage we were getting compared to having a pony club event at Crinder and Crombane to the Warren Racecourse Showground. So anyway, that was it.
Thank you, councillor. Yeah, out of that meeting, if I'll follow on, we asked, General Manager and I asked our economic Susan to guide them not to do the plan, but to show them how to do the plan. And she's come up with a template of what they should need to do. We committed her time to give them the expertise on where they could go, not to go and do the plan, not to go and do the business plan, but Susan spent a little bit of time putting the template together, the steps that they need to go through. You know, the from my point of view as mayor, we're going to try and help them do that, but it's a mammoth job, as Dave, Councillor Cleasby said, and we put some resources to give them the template that they can go away and do that. As all the committees, as my first month or so of mayor, I've gone along to all the committees for sporting and indicate the ones that are public and are involved, and I've indicated in black and white how much monies, net monies go out of the Shire budget for different facilities, and everybody from all the 11 user groups down there are all aware that it's a net cost to this our organisation of 300K plus. So just that everybody's aware of that, and I, you know, that how we can save money or use less of it or get more with less is the philosophy that I've indicated to all the user groups. Any other comment on that, Councillor Cleasby?
Yeah, just through the mayor, like, they are a mixed group of people down there, all with their own agenda. Each group is more important to the other than the other group. I think there's a meeting down there on Sunday where they're all trying to get together. The polo cross would be fantastic for the town. I think they need to be encouraged, but as the mayor said, they have to do the groundwork. Not, I'm sure they come here just looking for 400,000 to put it on, and it's not going to happen.
Councillor, the meetings of all the groups to try to work out how they'd do that particular, I'll call it Warren 2028, or what's the meeting for?
The meeting is to get there, which is independent to every group, run by, being pushed by one person, which is actually not affiliated to any group. The meeting is to put a wish list together as a combined effort rather than a wish list for each individual club.
Which I personally like, for them to come together and not be siloed, I think in the long run is a good thing. But we'll thank you for chairing that committee, Councillor Cleasby. It's probably the most onerous committee to chair, and we'll just see, let the dust settle and see what comes out of this. Any other comments? Councillor Jackson?
Thank you, Mayor Watley. I was just wondering about the 5-year plan for the Warren Jockey Club and all of their statements regarding investment by Warren Shire Council. Are these things that they're hoping council will help with, or are these things that council have already agreed to help with?
Bear with me, General Manager, if I say something wrong, slap me on the wrist. The biggest thing that the council is walking as far as the Jockey Club is the dual irrigation system to save the operational costs, and we're working on grants for that. This space is pretty complicated because you've got Racing New South Wales, you've got Crown Lands, etc. in the grants process. But I think jump down my throat if I'm doing the wrong thing, but that is our primary activity that we're working on as a council at the moment. Councillor Bob, okay.
Just a comment, I'd probably like to commend the Jockey Club for taking the time to put a business plan together and share it with council as well. So
Exactly, Councillor McKay. I think, with, Mr. Smith, leading, with his timeframe and his, he has more time and has put a fair bit of, expertise into the jockey club. I presume they had their AGM on Wednesday night. I presume he is still the president, but what I've said to all of them, and it's incumbent on you guys to help us reduce the cost. Whether we attract money from elsewhere, the long-term facility wise with the showground racecourse and back with our sporting facilities. We've done the capital costs are there. We just got to concentrate on now how we run them the best and efficient way. Councillor McCloskey.
Through the chair, just noted when reading the minutes, item 6.5, the 10 CCTV cameras that says have been installed at the showground. Are they all up? Because
Put that on notice.
as opposed to the back gate that it's got nothing on it if that's where a camera's going.
Probably, almost all of them are up.
Yeah.
You're just having a bit of trouble getting the final ones all finalised around town.
Mr. Mayor, and the contractor has promised to come Friday and Sunday to try to complete them.
There has been difficulties between
I just noticed it said they're up, but they're definitely post stand and proud with nothing on it.
and we're working on it.
There might be even more than the 10 too, so.
Any other business re showground racecourse? I'll put that report, all of those in favour. Aye. Airport operations, looking for a mover and a second for airport operations. Councillor McCloskey, I'll do that one again to you, and Councillor McKay is grinning so he can second it. That's good.
I will say I did put my hand up for this in my absence.
Councillor McCloskey, have you got any comments on the
No,
airport
I
operations?
given, yeah. I wasn't-
General Manager, do you want to go with this one or do I?
Just, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Go, Councillor.
No, on item 7.2 at the back, it says council to consider that membership of the committee should include a major user of the airport, i.e. Macquarie Valley Ag Services and Bankstown Flying. Macquarie Valley Ag, the Nigel Martin's already.
Understand.
No, it's terminology, Councillor McCloskey. We took the membership, ex-deputy mayor suggested that we take the membership from the name to the organisation to try and attract, so it's not Mayor Greg Whiteley, it is the organisation that it represents, so that there is some flexibility on the actual physical person that comes along. And
That's the recommendation.
that's the recommendation. The other
They're doing the same big list of improvement works that some are pie in the sky, some are reasonable, some of them well and truly be grant. That's why a lot of the committees will go again in February, just to make sure that we don't miss any thoughts of anybody.
I think it's fair to say that the highest one on their priority is I'm not a flyboy of the technical navigation, circular navigation thing, RNAV. And I'm not going to delve into that space. So an RNAV is required for circular RNAV is the minimum that you can have to come in for the flying doctor to come in and completely cloud wipe out. So there's investigations into grants for the application of that RBAP, and I think there was some preliminary costings done since that meeting, but it's in the grant phase, if you know. Any other questions, Rick?
Just in respect to the lighting, does council still have a hand temporary portable runway lighting?
No, they're gone, I think.
They used to be called?
Generally, yeah.
Of course, there's a generator now for the main lines.
Yes.
The other comments? Guys, I'll put that report all in favour. All right, thank you. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, is Wednesday, the 13th of November. Is the Economic Development Promotion Committee. Looking for a second of that, please. Councillor Derrett, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Derrett.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it was a relatively contentious meeting. There's always a lot happening in this space. I guess one thing I would like to show you is if you haven't already seen the brochure, Balti's amazing, photography is exceptional, and I would really like to commend the Economic Development Manager for hard work in putting this together. It's extremely professional and something we can all be proud of. So feel free to have a look if you haven't seen one already. Don't have anything else particularly to highlight. One thing that we probably won't say too much on now, but is something that's hopefully in progress, is the Three Rivers and Macquarie Marshes Tourism / Visitation and Economic Development Program. So that will be very exciting if and when it comes to fruition. But yeah, it's a bit early days in the planning of that. Happy to take any questions on anything else from those minutes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any comments? I strongly back up Deputy Mayor Derrett's comments on that publication. The pulling together of the photography and the wording and design is as good as I've ever seen in one of those documents, and you know, it's to the quality that could be a coffee table book on anyone's coffee table. I reckon it's pretty good, and publicly I congratulate all those involved, and especially as the work Susan's done to combine them all together. But the photography is unbelievable. Any other comments?
We could be in order to, as a council, to congratulate the people who put that together on an official basis.
I think we could do that, Councillor Wass. Yeah, we'll take that on board, and I'll personally write a letter to everybody involved in that. That's appropriate if you think that should be done. You're happy with that, Councillor Surley? No other comments. I'll take that on as a personal project. So I'll put that formally. Everybody happy? No problem. Thank you. Now, next one is the Town Improvement Committee. Looking for a mover of the Town Improvement Committee. Councillor Cleesby, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Cleesby.
There was just a few general items that come up. One was the pencil points in front of it, which was near the Catholic school. We're just trying to find out if there's any historical significance with those pines, as is, were they ever planted by a group of people? Just so by removing the pines that are, by removing them, we're not going to upset anyone by doing it. I think it's going to be a hard task to find anyone that knows anything about it, to be honest. Anyway, there was also the movement of the fence in the park up to where virtually the old tree that was burnt, just for protection of flood. Every time we have a flood down there, we lose the fences. So it was discussed. And also in item 7.2, there was a chair, but I must go through Councillor McCloskey. I think the community homes is where the chair will transport. Yeah, the community on there, it says community transport office, but I believe it's the community homes that the chair should be replaced.
I thought it was, isn't there one?
Down near the dentist, Mr.
Yeah, community, so you, down where, community transport is near our house.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It's by the way through transport.
Yeah,
Just trying to find an appropriate chair.
it
Just-
was, I think it was for him, I believe, was it?
Yeah, at the time, I asked the question through the chair of Raymond with respect to it. The chair was on order. It was expected to arrive the week thereafter, I think the meeting, which is probably 2 weeks ago. And would be installed soon thereafter.
Thank you, Councillor, please. Any other discussions, comments from anyone? No, I'll put that report, all that, all in favour, aye. Just from me before we move on, congratulations to everybody that puts their time and effort into those committees. The committee structure is something that's really important for this organisation, and I realise that especially in certain weeks when they're all together, there's a real challenge time-wise, and you know, so congratulations to everyone, and even and notwithstanding our staff, because you know, some of our staff go to every one of those, and so it is important, but it is onerous, and I congratulate everybody for their times and efforts. So moving on, and this is, we'll go along our delegates where we go outside our organisations. Mannix. I'll get into trouble. Mannix, could I have a mover of the Mannix report on the Mannix meeting of the 26th of November? And I realised that took up a whole, had to be put separately onto your documents because of the size of that, and the reports that were in that. So can I have a mover of the Mannix? Councillor Kinsey, thank you. Councillor Surdity, Councillor Kinsey.
Obviously, I wasn't at the meeting, Mr. Mayor, so I'll just move the recommendation. Thank you.
So General Manager, you got anything that needs to jump out of us from that?
Still just under $1.1 million of flood damage works that we've done to be paid. On page 6, we're attempting to try to work out what large payments are going out and what large payments are coming in, so the Divisional Manager, Finance Administration and Treasurer can actually try to work out what money we can actually put on and invest properly to try to get as many dollars as possible without then running out of money. We're very, very close on page 9. We think of having everything flood damage at Uamar Waste Depot. We'll cross fingers, particularly that $220,500 for for the access road. And there's just under $39,000 still owed. We've paid the 82, haven't we? Look, we're still trying to fill positions, and from Monday onwards, the acting general manager and myself will do a bit of an announcement in relation to having some sort of help, having some sort of payment to employees who can actually get people to apply for positions with Warren Shire Council that they're successful, which I've seen elsewhere across different industries and organisations that want to use every way possible to try to fill our positions that are vacant. And look, we've been successful. We think 99.9% successful with 2 out of the 4 Fresh Start for local government apprentices, trainees, and Connects grants, which is more than 100% payment of most of the costs of a heavy vehicle motor mechanic apprenticeship and a trainee tourist information officer. So they're going to be paid 100% plus almost most of the on costs for positions over and above our normal organisation, which is good. We applied for 4, but we got 2 out of the 4, better than nothing.
That councillors is a statewide initiative from it's a good idea, but they just haven't given enough people, so we've only got 2. Councillor McCloskey.
Through the chair, just a small item. On page 8, it says, with respect to the culverts on the highway, I think your date might be wrong. 25th of November, 22 culverts will commence. Then the 3 culverts will be started on the 2nd December. Then on the 22nd of December, there's a safety induction. You go further back into the business paper, into the report of the divisional manager, page 2. That December date of the 22nd is November.
Monday the 2nd.
Yeah.
That's all. There's a 2 wrong.
Yeah.
2nd of December, the safety thing happened. That's
The
but we're pretty serious. We'll probably do something on the 22nd as well.
oh, and I like the two comments jump out at me, Councillor McCloskey, that our lady that runs the show over there picked up a couple of dates that are wrong, and I've also noticed that on my calendar, the general manager's because Christmas Day comes on a Wednesday, I'm supposed to have a meeting, a head of government meeting on 2 p.m. on Christmas Day. Our general manager probably won't be there. I can guarantee our acting general manager won't be there, and 100% I won't be there either.
I don't know what your commitment's about. And we also, there's a prize for finding the other error in the minutes too, isn't there? But we're not going to tell you until you find the minute.
It's not a competition, General Manager. Is there any other comments on the Mannix meeting? Obviously, there was a lot of policy stuff and that there. It wasn't exactly War and Peace, but it was pretty close. Anyone else jumping out? Mr. General Manager, you're happy? With that, all in favour, I thank you. Right, so now we can go on to the reports of the delegates and the Outback Arts. Councillor Jackson. Second, Councillor Sturdy, Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor Whiteley. The minutes of the meeting are attached to the business paper. They're fairly comprehensive. If anybody has a particular question regarding those minutes, happy to field that.
I'm putting it to anyone, anyone got any comments? The recommendation is that we take the report, councillor Jackson, and now I'll put that all in favour. I thank you. Interagency support services held on the 17th of October. Councillor Surdity, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Surdity.
There's three
There's
council,
two of them actually.
there's two, if I can run the two together.
Yeah, both there, please. Just comment on both.
The October one, with this committee, we don't actually have a chair, one chairperson. We split doors between the three ex-councillors that are in there, so.
Yep.
We're not officially chair people as such. On the 17th, I stood in because the other two ladies were unavailable. The reports are still coming in from various agencies that want the Shire of Warren to know what they're about. There's a hell of a lot of people on that mailing list, but they tend to come in and tell you something when it's relevant to you. So they want to remain on the mailing list, which is fine. So they're getting the information, but they don't always report to a particular meeting unless they have something to specifically say about what they want to do for Warren. The same thing applies with the one that was on the following week, which I've totally lost the form of dates with all of today these days. I've lost the plot. The 28th of November was the second one. I did share that one on that particular day. The same thing, we still have people wanting to come in, but there was one comment in there that came back, and I think it was a particular meeting about the survey they did for the transport between Nevertar and Warren. And when they did the survey within the town, some of the comments came back that some people in Warren weren't aware of what community transport does. And I think, having been a volunteer and sat on that committee many years as an honorary treasurer and Meals on Wheels, it really surprised me that people out in Warren are not fully aware of what Warren Community Transport actually does. So that was a bit of a wake-up call, and maybe they just need to find ferret a bit more information out there. They do a wonderful service, and people who need it know it. But the general public just sort of surprised me that they didn't really know what was on offer. So, yeah, you can lead it out to water, but you can't make it drink. What do? I don't know. You just got to keep putting the information out there.
That's what Jackson.
I just wanted to make a point of the minutes for the 17th of October.
Yeah.
It says apologies removed and seconded, but we were actually the apologies.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that was something I was going to point out to be corrected. So there was an early draft of the minutes. I wasn't at the meeting. I didn't have the apologies. So the early draft has made its way into the business paper. There were a number of apologies, including myself and Councillor Jackson. So we did not move the apologies, and there were a number that were added to the minutes. So that was just a point of clarification. And while I have you, just regarding the second meeting in November, so we did receive email updates from all of that meeting as well. So all of the information is included in the minutes, but just further information regarding the paediatrician service that is mentioned by Belinda Bell. So she has since provided further details. There will be a visiting paediatrician, Dr. Mary Iskander, coming to Warren through the Royal Flying Doctor Service Medical Centre in 2025, which I'm particularly excited about, even though my girls are too old now to have any need for such service, but GP referral is needed. And I know this is something that a lot of people have had to wait a ridiculously long time to access, and the closest paediatric service has been in Dubbo. So it will be really exciting to have one available here. That will be a monthly clinic, so still better than nothing. A monthly clinic on Friday, and further information can be obtained from Fritz Redden at the Medical Centre or Nicole Cullen at the Multi-Purpose Doctor. So that's just a bit more information about what was mentioned in those minutes there.
I believe it's supposed to
Thank you.
start in February. I think is when it's supposed to come on board. I think it's February is the first one.
My only comment, as well as that, in this space, especially with the transport, Roads New South Wales are doing what they call an integrated transport plan. And the our economic development, Susan, is the transport between Not Warren and Nevertire. The community transport is all mentioned in this integrated transport plan, how we can progress that further with the rail bus and everything else, acting on that in a broad sense, not
It's
specifically.
not isolated to the one thing. So if that's a good one, look out for that, it will actually get mentioned and stay on the list of someone. Thank you.
Any other comments on that? Thank you very much. I'll put that all in favour. I need to do that twice, guys. So there's two reports. We're in favour of both. That. Joe, thank you. Ordinary meeting of the Castlereagh County Council. Councillor Kinsey, seconder. I suppose I wasn't there. So it is typically, we only had one representative of that, the previous one, Councillor Kinsey. Second, that someone wasn't there. Councillor McKay, thank you. Councillor Kinsey.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. That meeting, we've had one since about a week ago, so yeah, try not to mix them up. We had 4 new councillors. Was four other councillors retired from whatever council they're at. So we'll see how they go. Basically, most of the meeting was about the incorporated area, and we're progressing fairly well with that. So we're finding a lot of rubbish out in that part of the world around the Broken Hill area. In fact, even we've found some stuff you really don't want to know about at Inverell. That's that Hudson Peak. That's not really good. But there's a picture here that I've all got on your desk, and that clearly shows how this bug is attacking the Hudson Peak. So that's in an area where it's been introduced. I don't know what the time span of killing it was, but it wasn't very long, as in only a few months. But the good news is it's killing the old plants, and it's actually attacking all the young ones as well. So we might be on a real good winner here. If that's the case, it'll be one hell of a thing for us because we're not spending a lot of time trying to control this stuff. We can do something else with our time. So that's the good news about Hudson Fair. I think, generally speaking, we've got insects that are attacking a lot of other cacti around the area. That's an ongoing thing. We don't know how that's going to pan out. But at least we've got something to attack them rather than trying to spray the things to death. The incorporated area is a real problem. We didn't know how bad it was going to be, but I think it's worse than what we thought it was going to be. That's we're just, and even in the township of Broken Hill itself, which we're not responsible for, we're finding from casual observation that there's a lot of stuff in the township itself that should be exterminated. That's not our problem. That belongs to the local council for doing that. Anybody knows the mayor of that council, for God's sake, have your hand off. Because there's no much point trying to control it in the town if it's spreading outside. Or vice versa. I think that's about it, really. Any questions?
Mayor, just an explanation to the other councillors. Castlereagh and Macquarie County Council, as a contractor, has been engaged by the state government to do weed inspections and weed works in the unincorporated area.
Mainly, it's not actually to kill the weeds, it's to map them. find them, map them, and then work out a plan of attack.
The principal guys behind this is we're doing that as a contract, the county council's doing that at contract basis to make money to save the constituents' councils. So without, the big debate was without impacting the operation of the county council, we had the capacity to go out there and earn money to bring more monies back into the county council and therefore cut the costs or limit the exposure of all our councils. The unincorporated area, the DPI did an audit on the unincorporated area and found this mess, so we've contracted to do that. The DPI is also doing an audit on every other local LGA area because they found that where our combined county councils operations working pretty efficiently and pretty well, and we're up to date with our legislative requirements because we're in this county council. Some LGAs that are trying to do it on their own are struggling and are not compliant. So, yeah. DPI is using our operation with the county council as a model. We seem to be, us in Central West around Bathurst and Orange seem to be the model that
Went up north somewhere.
where they're trying to follow. There are some councils reasonably close to us that have been trying to do all their weed stuff internally, non-compliant and legislative framework. Any other comments?
Yes, the other, that unincorporated area is where, well, we were offered $140,000 to do this work, maybe just for math. And, well, we hope we can pocket 25 of that for our own use. So that's why we took it on, really. Well, that's why I voted to take it on. But we can get outside money and do a good job as well.
The only other comment I've got before I put this is that Councillor Kinsey put his hand and he's actually at the moment put his hand up and he is Deputy Chair of the County Council. Congratulations, Councillor Kinsey.
And an ARIC member, they tell me.
That was a bonus.
I wondered why two councillors next to each other were talking a lot of ARIC stuff just before.
Yeah.
Who's your chair, Mr.? Who's the chair?
Who's
your chair, Councillor Kinsey?
Batten? Batten.
No, ARIC.
Oh, sorry, the chair. Oh, a lady, Liz. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not appropriate for me to comment on Councillor Kinsey's comment on Harry. Anyhow, we'll leave that one. But congratulations, Councillor Kinsey.
Thank you.
And I'll put that report all in favour. Thank you. The next one is the meeting the Alliance of Councils Board held on the 8th of November. Appropriate for me to move that, gentlemen?
I think so.
I think I'll move that and I'm looking for a seconder. Councillor Jarrett, thank you. For those, give me if I'm not exactly right. I think we had 13 out of the 14 there. Unfortunately, Mudgee was an apology. It was a bit of a get to know the new team meeting. There's obviously more than half the mayors there were new. General managers, unfortunately, Gary, our general manager, had another engagement in Sydney, but Brad and I were at that. There was a few things come out of that space. We had a presentation about water and sewer and where the government wants us to go with that, which I won't go into details here, and there's pluses and minuses with that. The Alliance of Council, it was in Dubbo. Councillor Glenn Neal from Mayor of Nyngan is the new chairman of our alliance. I'm the deputy chairman. The alliance discussed a number of things, including Jeremy Atchison to our regional roads minister at the next meeting. My first meeting and my gut feeling is the alliance of our 14 Western councils. So that's from Mudgee West, is something that is very, very important to us as a council, but important to the region as a whole, and has the respect of Macquarie Street, which is I think good. You know, sometimes you wander along to these meetings and you wonder why, you know, it's just a site for the meeting, but I commend that. I commend our regional alliance, and it's good to see Councillor Neal stepped up and is the chairman. Any comments, General Manager?
Divisional manager might, you want to comment on anything in there?
Any other questions about the Alliance of Regional Council? I'll put that report. Thank you. Item 6, Warren Health Action Committee General Meeting held on Wednesday the 13th. Councillor Surdity, thank you. A seconder, Councillor Kinsey. Councillor Surdity.
I was actually not particularly there at this meeting. I was looking in October and library switch meeting, but it's more of a consultative committee. We don't, as you can see from the report, we only have 236,000 cents in the bank, so we're not going to be doing any major things. We try to support whoever needs the information that we can gather to try and get more stuff happening within the Warren Shire. We possibly only meet maybe twice, 3 times per year. Rod Sandell in the past had always been our chairperson, and Heather was our secretary treasurer. And they both stepped down from that role. So the current office bearers are now Rod Sandell's back in again, moved by Judy and seconded by Heather. The vice chairperson is Judy Ridley. The secretary treasurer is myself, and I had already accepted the recommendation that I nominate for that prior to going to the switch conference. And the public officer will be John Furr. So not sure when our next physical meeting will be. As it says here, to be advised, and then we can just go through what we need to try and do to make that we're not forgotten with relation to what health issues are in mind and how we can act on them to get more happening.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other comments or questions to read that? I'll put that all in favour. Aye. Thank you. Together, Bob, I realise, Councillor McKay, I realise you're only at one, the mining related council meeting.
Yeah. Thanks, Mayor. So we, myself and the Mayor and General Manager went to the meeting of the mining and energy related councils on the 14th in
move it. Sorry, Councillor McKay, moved Councillor May, seconded Councillor Derrick.
Yeah, so we went to the meeting of Merck on the 14th of November. So what is MERC? It's the Mining and Energy Related Councils. So it's a group of mainly New South Wales councils that have mining essentially in their council. So councils like Orange, Cabon, Blaney, Cobar, Lithgow, Walgett, etc. Their main focus seems to be mining. In fact, I think most of the conversation was held around mining. It's meant to be also focusing on renewables, and that was not really touched on all that much. There was an AGM and a normal meeting. The AGM elected the chair from Orange. In terms of the council, it's gone through a bit of a transition phase, as I understand it. It's been a bit hit and miss over the years, and they're trying to reconsolidate it and grow it again. So they're looking to expand membership. Warren's obviously a member of that, but I think the membership's about 9,000 a year, general manager, approximately. I think it's from June to July. It's given with the lack of mining in Warren and the lack of focus on renewables, it's I'm not sure the relevance of the council. We probably should think about whether Warren does need to be a member of it. But having said that, it is like all these things, it's a good networking event. Peter Batten, who many of you would remember, was a principal here at Warren Central School, was there representing Cabon Council. Bruce Reynolds, who many of you would have remembered his voice. He was an ABC radio presenter. He's the mayor of Blaney Shire, was there as well. The main issue they're struggling with at the moment is the Royalties for Regions program, which the state government would give money back to these councils. That's been scrapped. I think there's a transition program in place for coal communities now, but places like Broken Hill, I think, have about $7 million out of their budget from this being scrapped. They have an executive officer called Martin Rush, who is a consultant. He's proposing that councils should be implementing regional taxation. Essentially, he said councils are able to tax mines, and he said that he's strongly encouraging 2 or 3 of these councils to get together and start implementing a regional taxation base, just like the state government does for their royalties. And he feels that if that happens, that would quickly bring the state government to heel and they'd get their money back. There was talk about quarrying, and they're doing a lot of work trying to sort of simplify and make consistent the quarrying rules. Doesn't really apply to us because we have a quarry, but we own it, so there's no real issues there. And there was talking to Bruce Reynolds, who's the chair of Blaney. He said that I think 40% of their income now comes from the Cadia gold mine, and he said if that mine ever shut, they'd be running into lots of problems. So they're very, very focused on not being too reliant on one single source of revenue. He also did make the point that I think I was saying that the Warren pool, I think what's it cost us, about 200 to run. He said, well, their brand new sparkling indoor heated pool costs them $1.2 million a year to run. So we're not too bad. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Councillor McKay. Yeah, well done. Any other comments? I'll put that all in favour on. What we might do now, guys, we'll have a 5-minute comfort break, grab a coffee, bring your coffee back to the desk, and then we'll thank you for your short break. As you're all aware, we're on a time frame. What's the council policy? Item number 1 is a review of the community engagement strategy policy, which has been in your business papers. I'm looking for a mover and a second, and we get the discussion underway with that, please. Councillor Kinsey, Councillor Surdity, Councillor Kinsey.
Just get discussion ongoing, mate.
General Manager, do you feel we need to comment on what we did the other day?
Part of our workshop, one of the three things that relates to that workshop, strategy. We've got a strategy that's overarching. We're trying to follow it as well as possible, and I think we're working. This prepares us ready for our integrated planning and reporting as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for the councillors that gave the time for that. It's a process, but the process is set out where we need to go in the next 6 months doing our budget and integrating planning thing. But the philosophy, or my philosophy, is we take our community with us, and that's the way this is part of that, you know, communication with our community and leading our community in the right direction, but partnering with our community. I personally have seen a lot of councillors come unstuck where they don't take their community with us, and this is part of that process. Is there any questions? You want to comment? So it was a pretty, you know, again, congratulate those who are here. It's something we've got to do, and it'll lead on into our planning and our budgetary process next year. And that started back in the committee phase where we've asked all the committees to put their wish list up. So with that, I'll put that policy to be adopted. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Item 2, I'm looking for a mover and a seconder for the drug and alcohol policy. That was in your business paper, and there was a couple of different changes, but you would have seen that in yellow. Councillor Jackson, thank you. Councillor McKay seconded. Councillor Jackson.
I just move in terms of the recommendation. They should be received noted. Council adopt the new policy.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Anyone else got any comment? General Manager, you got anything that you want to bring up, those minor changes? No other comment, no put, everybody happy? I'll put that policy. Thank you very much, councillors. Moving on, the reports to the General Manager, the outstanding reports checklist. Just looking for a motion so we can discuss that. Councillor McKay, Councillor Sturdy, Councillor McKay. Happy to move. General Manager, there was, you would have noticed on your list there's a super asterisk stuff, and you know, you're aware that they'll disappear off that checklist. General Manager, just comment through as you think.
Going really quickly. We're going to go and open the so page 1, amenities building at Carteroa Sports Springs today. There was some minor practical stuff that gets finalised over leading up to Christmas. Prizes for anyone who can work them out when we get there. Just page 4, resilience plan is progressing, and that's why it's finished. On top of page 4, page 5 is I've reported the local government conference attendance. Majority of matters relating to Victoria Park female-friendly amenities finished, except now we're actually building it. Middle page 7 is finalisation of the policy relating to equal employment policy that's done and dusted, and EOI for our vacant community is finished. Page 8, the annual engagement plan for the audit of 23-24 is finished and done and complete. Same with financial reports at the bottom of page 8 and changes to my salary, bottom of page 8. Page 9 is the Bundamark Street median matter is reported elsewhere and it's moved on to have a resolution elsewhere. Middle page 11 is action. Just a little 2/3 of to finalise everything in regard to the evaporation pond. Middle of page 13 relating to the 8 electric submersible pumps that are at the depot now. Depot locked away. Page 14 is just tidying everything up and relating to our amenities building that's getting built over in Victoria Park. Page 15, same with the St Mary's School. Further reports have tidied it up and are moving on. Same with the street party that'll happen tomorrow. Page 17 is really now everything tidied up in relation to the lagoon. People have been engaged. Now we have to go and build it. Page 18, same thing with contracts for our CCTV camera and smoke testing work. Page 20, the LFP health check there's a report at this meeting that negates the one in the middle of page 20. Same with the one at the bottom of page 20 and page 21. Everything is as per their asterisk or grade because they've finished. Everything else is still going.
Ladies and gentlemen, have we got any questions or comments to the operational checklist? You see we're getting on top of a fair bit of infrastructure stuff. Councillor
Just with respect to the evaporation time frame on it, given it's all been set up for go?
Yeah, it's likely to start in the middle of January. January next year.
January.
And the time to take to do it?
The time frame that's planned for 7 weeks.
That obviously weather reliant, Councillor McCluskey. Any other queries, questions on that report? Not, I'll put that all in favour. Thank you. Item 2, General Manager Report, Committee Delegates Meeting. Oh,
Wake yourselves up, Mr. Mayor.
well, yeah, I could comment that this is usually our shortest debate item and we're standing for the shortest amount of time, but in recognition of Warren being a healthy town and to keep awareness of healthy lifestyle, Council will be standing while dealing with item 2 of the General Manager's Report. Looking for a mover and a second to that, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Kinsey, General Manager.
It's not that they're not just my meetings. They're everyone's meetings, and just don't forget it. And so it gives councillors a chance to say that meeting what was about, when it is, and hopefully between the senior management team and the councillors who attended, we are able to answer those sort of things. Had a good Remembrance Day again. It's always good. Lots of kids. Park looked good. And as I say, you have a look. November was a pretty busy time for committees. February will be the same, so prepare yourselves. And a lot of those committees are there again because we want to finalise wish lists.
Anything else? Councillor Jackson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to highlight Outback Arts as per the minutes of that meeting. It's on the 8th of December. 18th, big pardon, 18th of December.
Just to try to explain, what your second page on your document details future meetings of ones. So what happens is that the future meetings not on the meeting schedule means that it's not on there. So if you only check to see if that 18th of December wasn't there, so wonder why it's not.
Yeah, my final comment is that, I appreciate the time and effort everybody puts into this, and meetings and sometimes, as Councillor McKay said, sometimes you wonder, but the networking and stuff, we've got to be at. So.
And look, Mr. Mayor, I think it's one of the reasons why for the last 40 years, Shire Council has been a harmonious and well organised council because its committee structures worked. Some councils don't have the same delegate system, don't have the same committees, work differently, but I think we work well because of it.
Thank you, General Manager. I back up those comments, and whilst I'm sitting in the chair that I'm sitting in, we won't lead contentious issues in public and do the media stunts, and just bear with us. We quietly work behind the scenes to get things done in a team environment, and thank you. I'll put that motion all in. Oh, sorry, Councillor Sturdy, apologise.
Just one thing that I noticed it's not mentioned on there was the lively Swiss conference up at Tamworth that went from the 12th to the 15th. I can't see it listed in there unless my eyes are going funny, but I did attend it.
It's missing, but your delegate report's in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've done a delegates report? It's still coming?
Oh, it should have been done the Monday after we come back.
Is it contained within the business plan?
Can't see it.
Hasn't got there yet. January.
There is a time frame of those, and as Councillor Kennedy's, the Macquarie County Council minutes only arrived yesterday. There is a bit of a lag in some of those.
That's fine, as long as it eventually turns out.
It'll get there. All those to accept that. All those, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Item 3, works projects report, infrastructure projects, and obviously that's going to be highlighted today with the finalisation or nearly finalisation of 2 of our major ones. So I've got a mover and a seconder of that, please. Councillor Kelly, Councillor Wass. Councillor Kelly. Move that, please.
Yeah, the information be received and noted.
Thank you. Divisional manager or general manager comments?
Mr. Mayor, the list for infrastructure projects is starting to get smaller, but some of the larger stuff will now come on board. For example, that section's responsible for leading the project team for the levy. It's still putting together, finalising near close. I think over Christmas we're finalising, checking the design. I think the
Council is probably aware, if you've driven down the bypass road, that the stockpiling of the rock for the levee reconstructions started. It'll be good to see the Carter Oval complex thing finished today, and the pool infrastructure, which the council's information hosted the third biggest swimming carnival this side of Bathurst on Sunday. Approximately 200 kids swimming. The feedback from those involved in those organisations that the facilities were A1, so that's good. Victoria Oval is progressing, the slab's done. Everything seems to be on track according to Mr. Joseph, on track over there. We're getting towards the end of the grants that arrived at the start of the previous council and into the council before the previous one. We're just about there. You all got to be aware that that's the grants and government finances have dried up remarkably to the point that some of the grants statewide that haven't been acted on, and they haven't had the expertise or the capacity to get their grants underway. The great state government has withdrawn the money, and that's a little bit to the hoo-ha that's going on. If you're aware of Dubbo at the moment, previous state government, or for 5 years, they've had 40 odd million bucks and haven't gone and got the wherewithal to spend it. The treasurer's cracked the whip and he's pulled that back, and that's caused great contentions with other councils. We to congratulate previous councils, previous general managers and previous mayors that our process has got underway, and we've done what we said we were going to do. And previous Mayor Melton will be at the opening today. Previous general manager will be at the opening today. And that, I think around the traps, people are aware that when we say we're going to do things, that we actually go and do it. Obviously, with some of them, we have minor hiccups and minor things go wrong, but it'll be good to see this one, especially the Carter Oval complex, finished today. And publicly, I congratulate all the team, but especially Joe Joseph for the pain that he might have put up with a little bit with one of those projects. Any other comments, gentlemen? I'll put that all in favour. Thank you. It was mentioned before, but the Region of Drought Resilience Program, we'll quickly jump over this one. We talked about this before, but councillor Derrett, seconder, councillor Kinsey, councillor Derrett.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, I don't think we need to go over much. Thank you to the General Manager for such a comprehensive report on where things are up to. Again, just mentioning that potential project where we're working towards negotiating with other councils if we can get that happening. Thank you.
My other comment is that a lot of these things are government above us who are, and where we're trying to go is that we're trying to use $250,000 productively that'll come back onto the ground. Whereas sometimes these things get hidden in reports and there's no active things happen. So where we're trying to go with this, with the combination of cajoling might be the stronger word, but quietly encouraging is Nina Bogan and Campbell's come on board. Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, so just to clarify, so the funding has been approved and it's the consortia that put in for the funding was Bogan. So has it been determined whether money is going to be spent as yet, or is that to be determined?
No, the planning phase is going to have a figure of X left over. So this is a federal government initiative that come out of the feds. So they organise blocks different across the state. But in our block there was 3 councils, Bogan, Warren, and Canamble. They were combined with another 3. Bree, Burke, and Cobar. So they appointed in quasi-executive officer Miss Collis from Bree and ex-GM from Burke, Mr. Earl, to facilitate this. And in all during last year, we had a lot of facilitating meetings, would you call that? You know, where, white paper on where we should go with the money. So at this stage, there's 30-odd thousand left over from that process, and a bit under 200,000 left over for the 3 councils on the plan. So the plan has been done in detail, and that'll go. It went to the CSIRO, and then it'll go to the minister. It's been finalised as we speak. It looks like that we'll get about a bit under $250,000 back to facilitate something out of that plan. And our opinion is that the best way to that amount of money is, relatively terms, not a lot, but it's stuff that we should use. So our opinion at the moment is that the best way for the use of that amount of money is in the tourism field, and with the help of our economic development officer Susan and with some help from Gary and Salt, we've done up this plan to accentuate the tourism in our area with the marshes, day trips, all this sort of stuff on the same way as, say, the Darling Barwon Run tourism is done with the tourist groups, and as well as that, integrating some learning about how agriculture can make money out of tourism, whether it be farm stay, homestay, greybeard caravan, etc. And the process now is that we're trying to we haven't got formal agreement from Canamble and Bogan as yet, but I personally have got heads of government agreement with the two mayors. But it's still got to go over the minister's desk. We're just looking at the process of that as we speak.
Mr Mayor, the Three Rivers and Macquarie Marshes project is in the plan. That's a good start. And
Yeah.
we think that's the best idea to spend between $250,000 and $280,000.
There was a lot of Sky and Ply things in the plan. Yeah. More telecommunication. There was a lot of stuff there, but nowhere near that we can help with $250,000. You know, you'd need 25 million plus, you know, so we had to be a bit realistic. So the plan's got a lot of things in it, but this is the one that we think is achievable on the budget and would give maximum bang for the buck. Any other questions, comments? I'll put that all in favour. Thank you. The next one is item 5. The 2024 Local Government New South Wales Conference in Kenworth. Looking for a mover and a second. Councillor Derrick, Councillor McKay, comments. Councillor McKay's first trip to an LGA conference. Councillor Derrick's an old hand, and I'm not even going to comment.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you again to the General Manager for such a comprehensive report. And I know he'd like to slip in these typos just to test us, but just noting in the heading there, government. Was that one?
All right.
That was one. That was one.
You got the prize.
Yes, I guess this conference, so the conference itself, I think was a lot smoother than it has been in recent years. And we did manage to make it through all of the motions that were put up, which is something that hasn't happened in recent years. The motions, as per the report that Warren Shire Council put up, were similar to motions that were put up by a number of other councils. So they were grouped together and dealt as one. So they were fairly straightforward and nothing too contentious. Either of those that did get moved. Yes, always good opportunity for networking, and there were a couple of ministers that we did hear from. Not a great deal of time to speak to them outside the conference, but still good to see a couple of them there. I'm sure the Mayor and Councillor McKay might like to add something, but I guess as per the report as well, a highlight for me was definitely hearing from the keynote speaker, Liz Ellis. That was really inspirational and fantastic to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. So I suppose observations from a first timer was that it was it's a very diverse group of people that get together at these conferences. You know, I suppose we're used to out here dealing with roads and building some small infrastructure in towns based on grants, whereas a lot of the debate at these conferences can range from types of bitumen right through to various social issues, which is quite interesting, and so which I suppose typically reflects the society. I suppose that people over here and people over here and people in the middle, and whoever can articulate their argument the best tends to win the vote on most things, which I thought was interesting. Yes, a very diverse group of people. Obviously a really good networking event. We caught up with the Western Council representatives on the Sunday night, which was good to meet quite a few of those people. And yeah, and the caliber of the guest speakers was very good. Not just Liz, the
Ellis.
Ellis.
Oh, there's Ellis, that's sort of the other speakers were very good as well. So, yeah, it was an enjoyable conference and, very interesting.
Mr. Mayor, even better, there's Mayor Whiteley sitting next door and having a very good conversation with the Minister for Regional Roads and Transport at our networking dinner, which means all the more for us for important things in the future.
From my point of view, it accentuates a couple of things. One is the differential between a country council and a inner city council. To our general manager's credit, he didn't situate us quite as amongst two vocal inner city councils like he did previously in other events. Well done, Gary. But two things jump at me. One is the completely different emphasis that inner city councils do. The other one that jumps out was painfully obvious is political the political interference of major political parties in council operations in cities. You know, it's one thing that I congratulate you all on that I don't think ever in Warren we have had, in my experience here, in and out of council here, political bias amongst council and you know, some of the social issues. Obviously, they're to their fore, but I think we have the respect of some of the our country councils, and it is why the organisation of country mayors is so the flavour of the month at the moment, because I don't think that the country mayors process is party political. But I think it's definitely worth Warren Shire Council being associated and going to the conference. Any other comments? I will put that one all in favour. Right. Thank you. Item 6, delivery program report. Mover and a seconder, please. Picking on Councillor Cleasby and Councillor Kelly this time. Councillor Cleasby.
Just make it.
General Manager comment. Now, every 6 months, we have to do this report to say how the delivery program is going. And of course, it's I've recommended future later in this report that it's this document in the annual operational plan that actually we will work on improving over the next 6 months leading up to June 2025. So it's this document here that we will hopefully improve on, making sure that we haven't missed anything in accordance with the objectives and the strategies that come out of the very small document, which is the community strategic plan. That's the overarching document of this document. Because it needs to be kind of new from 25, 26 onwards anyway with the new council. But with help of manager level, lots of the comments detail where we're at. Don't forget it's a traffic light situation. So green, yellow, red, and there are some white because some relevant ones aren't applicable. But it's the red ones that you well and truly probably need to check to make sure you find out why they're red.
Thank you, General Manager. It's the same as what we talked about with our public information and stuff. We need you guys as the sounding board to our community and where we're going and what we're doing. That's basically the report. Something that legislatively we've got to do, but it's all adding up to this council's been in operation for 3 months now. Got 3 years, 7 months to go, guys. So we need to A, be seen to be, and B, do leading our community and doing the things that our community want us to do within total budgets and all the other constraints that are in the real world. Any other comments? Councillor Kinsey?
On page 81, the 115, you don't seem to be making any progress with the police going to meetings with you. Do other councils have the same issue?
This was mentioned at the our alliance. There was a detailed, all the general managers put into the detailed minutes of our 14 council alliance. Yes, I think everybody's got this council and this LGA has got a few individual issues. One is housing for police. The other one is that we seem to be rotating acting. General Manager will probably comment, but we've got 2 permanent senior local police the jobs are advertised at the moment. The old so-called lockup keeper and the sergeant's position are advertised as we speak. As soon as we get a new sarge, I as a mayor and a general manager of Stephen, we will more than facilitate a meeting, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Councillor McCloskey?
No, you're thinking of Penrith.
Mr Mayor, we can only continue to ask, which we have now asked either 4 times or 5 times, to can we please have a police precinct meeting, given everyone relevant dates, and I tell you what, we'll be pretty upset if there's precinct meetings by Dubbo Regional Council and not Warren Shire Council, because we're a council too. Yeah, same area.
We have, and I personally have had correspondence and conversations with the acting licensing sergeant, who is trying to reactivate the Warren Liquor Accord, which has gone into abeyance over a little while. He's keen, but again, he's someone that most of or some of you would personally know because he's been stationed in this town. But can I say he's only acting? He's applying for his own job. So the political space in the hierarchy of the police at the moment is a little bit flexible. Thank you, Councillor Kinsey. We give this to the floor of one line. Anyone else comment? Anything else in the report? That's the case, guys. I'll put that all in favour. Fine. Thank you.
Mayor, just a quick procedural question from a newbie. When you're asking for us to remove these reports, could you just, to the general manager perhaps, could you just explain what you want us to say? Are you asking us that the report be tabled, that it be heard.
It's moving the recommendation that's contained front of the report, which is up on the board.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so you'll say, so we're at item 7, if I move it, and then you throw it back to me.
And that's the, and it's what's contained as the recommendation. You don't need to move that. You can move something different if you want to.
Or you move the motion to instill debate. That is not as you would have seen at annual conference, you move. I need to have somebody to move the motion to instill debate. I need to have a seconder, otherwise it lapses. Then if there is serious contention or serious problems with the report or the debate, something like that, then I would accept an amendment, and then it rolls along in normal meeting practice. But in the report structure, usually the mover is been involved in the report or the committee. But if it's not, if all you're doing is moving moving what's on the screen to instill debate that we can then debate about, and then the process moves on in normal meeting structure from there. Is everybody? I'm not an expert on this field, guys.
That's right.
Go, Councillor Derek.
That is absolutely correct, Mr. Mayor. But I guess through you, the mover has the right to comment first. So you would move the recommendation, and then you may go on to give a comment or ask a question. Perhaps the mover has the first chance to do that. Thank you.
So if the mover doesn't want to comment,
He doesn't have to.
just say that we'll
Move as
the council.
recommended. I'm happy with the report.
Thank you.
Just an aside, if you saw Councillor Derek Turley managing that debate at Hamworth the other day, I don't think we'll ever get to that stage. Any other procedural stuff before we move on? Item 7 was here. It's all there, guys. Our annual report was bad and ugly, but it's all in there. In the document to you, and I'm looking for a motion from somebody to get the debate. Councillor McKay, seconder, Councillor McCloskey, go Councillor.
I would move that the council note the annual report.
General Manager, you got any comments on that?
There's a quick one. Most of the work is done by the executive assistant. I think she does enjoy putting together a report. You do. Some councils spent $40,000 putting together that document. It's Jody's time, my time, and all the management executive tidying things up and getting everything together. But just wanted to have, that was one of the public meetings of the drought thing.
Okay.
It was actually a pretty good meeting, Matt. Remember that? We had 30 people. One of the problems with Warren is that 35 to 45-year-old businessman farmer, they're always absent. And so that was pretty applicable, but we still had a pretty good meeting. We also had another one out at the in the Macquarie Marshes too, which we had 2 and everyone else had 1. But I reckon so. It's a good document. Sadly, it does sit on shelves. Not many people in the public read it. We try. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. We try to put some quality pictures in there. We try to sell. Here's Warren Shire. We've tried our best for the last 12 months, and as I say, we don't spend very much money on except time. And we've started collecting up lots of good photos for the next one already.
Yeah, it's all there, and I highly, back up, gentleman's comment, about Jody, our executive, assistant, or whatever title she would like, she's got. Especially seeing, I've been within earshot of her as well in, Mayor's office around there. The way I'm running things is a bit different than Milton. Milton did stuff from home and work and stuff, but I'm here a couple of days a week. Sometimes more than the general manager wants, but I appreciate you, Joe, and it publicly, there's a hell of a lot goes behind the scenes here, guys, that Jody advice and acts on, and thank you very much. So I'll put the annual report. Any dissension? Put that on. Thank you very much. Item 8, we keep on going. Endorsement of the Shire Community Strategic Plan. Mover and a seconder, please, to get this underway. Councillor Kinsey, Councillor Cleesby, Councillor Kinsey.
I just move the recommendation, please, Mr. Mayor.
General Manager, you got a comment?
Saying is, we think we've got a pretty good document. The only thing we need to do is tidy up some photographs in it through the thing. But no, well, we won't even do that. It's a document that's already 10 years long. It's Warren Shire 2035. It's the other 2 documents that we will, in a large way, tidy up, the delivery program and the annual operational plan, using a community strategic plan that we did as well as we could ever do community consultation wise, and lists of things.
Yeah, I'll back up those comments. All this planning stuff needs to sit to where you guys see the vision of where Warren. It seems paper. Structure, vision of where Warren should be, should reflect your idea. So please, council meeting, outside council meeting. Yeah, I know. Policy items and stuff like this gets a little bit, they turn the light on type stuff. No other comments? Put that over. And following on with item 9, integrated planning, framework, integration of plan and community engagement plan. Seem to be repeating ourselves.
They should be able to turn up. Watch this space and start putting in some available.
So for the new guys, we'll have a facilitator. There'll be a lot, council staff, councillors, workshopping, where we should go. The last, the one I guarded enthusiasm. Guys. Any extension? Item 10. Disclosure of interest, council and designated persons. Councillor Derek, Councillor Ross, Councillor Derek. Table, executive system, actually. They could qualify for this and on. Everyone's already done that. Anything change? The ownership of thing, house does things. Need to do it. Here's my, as an example. Any member of it. Any changes needed to include executive assistant will manage the which is reasonably difficult. Either online or so, any other comments? That, attention. You. Right, we're getting there. Report from the divisional manager of finance and administration. Obviously, item 1, reconciliation certificate October. I just have a mover and second, Councillor McCloskey, Councillor McKay, Councillor McCloskey. Divisional manager, you've got. Any questions to it? Good, quiet, everybody happy? I do that. Sorry, talk for a vote on that. And let's something to do. The statement of annual rates and charges. Councillor McCloskey again. Seconder, Councillor Kennedy. Councillor McCloskey.
Just move the recommendation. On the meeting, do you want to comment?
Staff. Put that. Right, we'll continue on, item 3, works progress report, finance administration, councillor Cox. Keep moving, councillor McKay wants to go again too. Divisional manager, you want to comment on anything?
I hope that we could have something. The other day, man. Basis council has. And web-based services like. Things at 100 minutes. Pick it up. Couple of times. Depends on Indiana's for when. Any other comments from anyone? Yeah, that happens. Any other comments? And I'll put that goes. Attention. Carry. Item 4, the review of council's, item 4, go over the secondary review of council's.
Questions?
Questions? Ratio is excellent. Average with Western very concerned. Annual rates and charges now says annual rates and charges.
the annual charges last year. Other annual charges mostly relate to water charges that bill that don't get paid for the new year. That's why there's such a reasonable gap. But 98.5%, there's some councils will never get 90% of their rates paid and 10% missing. But sadly, what government departments do is look at those 6 or 7 ratios, and auditors look at those 6 or 7 ratios.
with the